Monday's show was another groundbreaker in many ways. It kind of connected so many dots on so many levels, and every person on the planet will have been triggered in one way or another, whether they listened to that show or not. It spoke to us all in so many different ways. Some felt stupid, but how can you feel stupid if you don't have the knowledge? What is stupid is when you have the knowledge and don't use it. Many have reported they were crying during and after the show for a variety of reasons, because it triggered so many emotions within each of us. It was always going to be that way. As you all know, much of our history is false, and there have been and are many hidden aspects, and this was just the latest. I don't think the real impact of certain events has been fully absorbed by people yet, and only over time will the stark reality of what has already taken place here will be deemed extraordinary. But the externalization of everything in life has taken its toll in so many ways that nobody now knows how to fully accept internal gratifications and benefits due to all being switched to the external aspects. Like I've said before, funding is an external aspect. In fact, all currency is an external aspect of the transfer of the internal life force energy, which has far more value than people will ever realise. People wanting mass arrests, like it's the be-all and end-all, again, is another externalising effect due in part to their own guilt and shame, whilst mad in frustration of how we allowed all this to happen, all in front of our face. There will always be people around who will need to be arrested for crimes. There have been many in the past who never paid for their crimes externally. Anyway, internally they did, both when alive and also when dead. Karma sees to that, and a return to source and your own judgment rubber stamps it. People even sold their soul, as because they and others can't see the soul as it's internal, and so their thinking was it doesn't matter. Same applies to being heart damaged by a loved one or someone who has passed on. This is particularly more difficult in males, as it's not considered manly to cry, which is a release mechanism. Females can cry and garner the sympathy, although sometimes that crying aspect is used as a manipulation tool to garner sympathy where none is warranted. Now, you may see people upset in the external, but the internal hurts far more, as many of you will know. And those who sold their souls and dabbled in the dark arts have darkened their souls, and it spreads like a cancer, which is an interesting analogy, as the same dark spirit beings who consume you reside in the same place where cancer comes from, the astral layer. Now, given the increase in walk-ins and vessel possession, which we've highlighted in recent shows over the last 60 years, could it be the real reason why cancer rates have skyrocketed? Despite many more people now being non-smokers than the previous generations, newsflash, cancer is not caused by smoking. All the ancients smoked and none of them had cancer. Something to ponder. Of course, we covered the various ways of possession, and you've got the likes of the Rothschilds, who have been involved in Kabbalism, Jewish Sabbatism and Frankism, all of which are involved in witchcraft. And the fact that the Rothschilds use the occultic seal of Solomon as a family symbol is indicative of that. The six-pointed star is the symbol of Moloch and Ashtaroth. The occultic hexagram is on the Knesset, and is also displayed on the Jewish flag. The six-pointed star made its way from Egyptian pagan rituals of worship to the goddess Ashtaroth and Moloch to King Solomon when he went into I'm a God mode and idolatory mode. He lost his way. From there it then progressed through the magic arts, witchcraft, including Arab magicians, Sinbad. We covered the Druids, the witches and the Satanists. Astrology was also used through to the Kabbalah and to Isaac Luria, a Kabbalist in the 16th century, onto Meir Amschel Bauer, Bauer being Rothschild, who then changed his name to a symbol, to Zionism, to the Knesset of the new state of Israel, to the flag of Israel and its medical organisation equivalent to the Red Cross. Same symbol. It was also speculated that Hitler was also totally controlled by a demonic spirit, that he simply gave himself over to Satan's control, as they call it. And an ex-member of the satanic hierarchy of the Illuminati expressed the belief that there have been certain evil men throughout history that have totally given themselves over to possession by Satan. That these men, Hitler, Genghis Khan, for example, have been Antichrist types, simply human containers for the resonance of a very powerful demonic spirit, or even Satan himself. Now, the Illuminati member believed that when Satan no longer had need for the body of his Antichrist, he would discard it with death and find another willing soul to sacrifice his bodily control to the devil. And people played the role of the Antichrist. But you have to understand, though, that terms like Antichrist, Satan, Lucifer, Lilith, Ra, the Lord, have all been played by various beings. It's all like a role play in a theatre or a film. It's like if you were reproducing Gone with the Wind movie now, you would need new actors and new actresses in different eras of time. Different characters played different roles. And contrary to the many people in alt media who think they are the reincarnation of this or that being, not all were heroes either. This has been a big problem. And the announcement that the realms are folding in on themselves, as essentially it goes down to a grain of sand. Everything folds in. Now there's still the jinns here. The ones that were bound are all gone. The realms are being emptied out. And the jinns will have to abide by the rules here. As I understand it, a lot of them were here before us. But they're aware of the Galactic Council ruling and the peace treaty and have to observe it, or they will face the same consequences. What will happen now is, slowly but surely, the cabal and the top order will have to do their own dirty work. A lot of the fun and games that have gone on, where they're targeting people using non-physical form entities to mess with people. Yes, some have fun and move the car keys, and you go searching around the house for 3/4 of an hour and you were right back where you looked the first time. But some have far more sinister actions. That has to stop, and will. So the impact of that will be enormous. And yes, it can be perceived as not external. It's not tangible. You can't garner external proof as such, but it is there.